Hello everyone and welcome to a special developer live stream of Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. Yes, it is time for a first look at Tonics.
Yes.
Oh yes, and for those who don't know, I am joined by Harry for Playtonic Games here.
Hi.
And what do you do for Playtonic Games? Tell the audience.
I'm a designer, I guess. That's
one of many.
One of many, yes.
Oh,
And
yes.
I guess I was the one that was. Oops, I'm looking at the controller. Ignore that. I was the one who was responsible for making sure that Tonics happened in the game.
So we have the Tonic expert here.
Yes, in theory.
Fantastic. And for those that don't know, what is Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair? Because obviously we know the first Yooka-Laylee was a 3D exploration, platform and adventure collectathon. But what have we with the Impossible Lair?
So Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair is a 2D platformer that also has a 3D explorable world, as I guess you could think of it as the map screen, but it's more like a mini adventure game. So you've got 2D levels that all exist within this little adventure world, which is actually where we are right now. It's called the Overworld, and as you can see, you kind of potter around, meet characters, go into levels, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Fantastic. So, and as we've said, today is all about Tonics. Now, what are Tonics?
So Tonics, they were in the original game as well, but we've kind of really gone nuts with them in this game. And what they are is they're things that players can collect that they can then use in the 2D levels to change up the experience in some way. So, for example, they may change the way the game looks, or how the characters look, or they may give you new abilities, or they may change your abilities, or they make the game easier or harder, or just kind of random. So they change the game in all sorts of different ways.
And how do we get a Tonic? We know they're in the game, but how do we go about acquiring them?
That's a good question. So, like I said, here we are in the Overworld, which is the kind of the exploration part of the game in between levels. And you first learn about Tonics by meeting this character who's called Vendi. She's returning from the previous game. She's a giant vending machine.
A fabulous one at that as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. And she'll tell you all about them, and then, well, I'm going to do that, so we don't need to talk to her. And as you're pottering around the Overworld, you'll see these things just dotted around. Now, some are just on the floor in places where you can just pick them up, like this one here. Some are hidden out of reach, and some you actually have to solve puzzles and secrets in order to find. They're invisible until you solve the puzzle. But thankfully for us, this one is just on the floor.
Very convenient.
Indeed. And as you can see, pick it up to it, coin banker. So we found a Tonic. And that's the first step in getting Tonics. So we found one.
Yes.
Now we go into the Tonics menu, and you can see, so this is one we've already got at the beginning of the game. Yeah, that's right. So this one here we already got at the beginning as part of the tutorial, so ignore that one. But the one we just found here, Twitcoin Banker, and this one, as you can see, it costs 750 quills. And quills are the kind of golden currency that you find in the 2D levels. So to get Tonics, you find them as a result of exploring the Overworld. And then you play 2D levels to acquire quills, and then you can purchase them in the Overworld. So if I press buy on this one now, do you want to buy this? Yes, please. And there we go. I have this Tonic available, and I can now equip it, and I can use it as many times as I want now.
And as long as you've found the Tonic in the world, you can unlock them in any order as long as you've got the quills. It doesn't force you to go left to right.
Exactly, yeah. The way, the order in which you'll find them will be completely different for every player, because you may just not notice them, and particularly the hidden ones. For example, if I talk to this character here, look, and say hello, this guy gives you little hints as to where you might find one. So do you want to buy my hint for 10 quills? Yeah, we do. That's enough, okay. And he's saying, a nearby fern hides a secret hiding inside. Buddy slam the fern to reveal it. So, this is a fairly straightforward one of these. Although it isn't this one, you think it might be.
Yeah, no, my eyes were straight on that one.
I happen to know that it is actually this one. Look at that puzzle. Good puzzle in there.
Both my brain cells were fully engaged there.
So that's one of the slightly more hidden ones, and these clues get more cryptic as you progress through. Like, this is the first time you learn about Tonics, the first place in which you find them, so that one was right there on the floor, and this guy is sort of telling you how to find one that's pretty easy to find. But they do get a lot more difficult. So again, now we hop over the Tonics menu and the pause menu, and you can see now this one here, huge head.
Big head, man. Reminds me of GoldenEye.
Well, indeed, in GoldenEye. And if you buy that one, there we go. I don't have enough quills, so I can't. Oh, look at that. Never mind. Well, I tell you what. So that's how we get them anyway, and that's how you equip them. But we probably want to look at what they actually do.
Yes.
So what I'll do now is I'll just quickly.
Are we going to have to be a bit sneaky beaky?
Yeah, do something.
We're going to have to do a little cheat. So we're going to flip to a little screen to hide the magic. And we're back. So, by pure magic and the amazement of game development, I think we've found some new tonics.
Indeed. Well, in that short space of time, I completed the entire game and found all the tonics.
My.
So this is what happens when you find and buy them all. So you imagine that we played through the whole game now and searched the overworld, every nook and cranny, and we found every single one. And we need now a level to go and try them out, because like I said, they only work in 2D levels. So if we bring up the map, we can find a level. So
that's a sizable world map.
It is. So we've uncovered a little bit of it just to sort of explore some different levels, and we're going to go to this one today.
And you can fast travel once you've unlocked.
That's right. Yeah. So I've already crept around this overworld. And
now looking at the tonics, I've noticed already. I've seen ones that modify the gameplay and purely cosmetic. So what other kind of tonics can players expect to encounter in the game?
Well, why don't I just show you?
Oh, please do.
So we'll jump into this level, and this is what the level normally looks like. And for those of you who haven't seen the game at all, this is kind of what it plays like. So, running, twirling,
It's pretty fast paced.
Yeah, when you get good at it, like some people play it, when you start, you play it a bit more like slower,
slow and steady.
But yeah, when you get used to it, you play it.
This is for the speed runners.
Yes. So we're now in the level, and in the level we can also go to the tonics menu. So you can either equip them on the overworld, or you can equip them in the level. And whilst you're in the level, you can change them as well. So we wanted to make it flexible so that players could faff around and just experiment. And I will look into examples. So this one is called Catchy. So again, for those of you who don't know about the game, Laylee, who is the bat, when you take damage, she'll kind of flap around the screen, and if you don't catch her, she'll fly off.
That's it, sad enough.
That's it. She's yeah. So this one here makes her flap around the screen for longer and more slowly, so it makes the game marginally easier. This one here as well adds more checkpoints to the game. So if you're struggling with the game and you just feel like you need more checkpoints, you can use this tonic. This one here removes checkpoints from the game, so it removes all but one checkpoint from it. So this makes it more difficult, and you might be sat there thinking, why do I want to make the game more difficult? Well, if we equip it, you'll see that there's this number in the middle of the screen called the quill multiplier, and it starts out as 1, meaning 1 quill is worth 1 quill. But now that we've equipped this one, that makes the game more difficult,
so
every quill is now worth 2.
Double it up.
Exactly.
Nice.
So what happens is at the end of the level, all the quills that you collected get multiplied by this. So if you picked up 100, it would go, and then it would turn into 200. And conversely, if I equip this one, more checkmates, you can see it's reduced the quill multiplier. So tonics that make the game more easy give you slightly less quills, and tonics that make the game more difficult give you significantly more quills. So they're the ones that kind of are just difficult, and there's a bunch of other ones that change the difficulty as well. There's also ones that are just kind of fun. So this one here, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. It's kind of best to just show this one, to be honest.
Okay.
And it makes the whole game play at double the speed.
Oh,
so
I see.
If you're super good at the game, you can just whiz through levels and it's like no problem, right? Or if that's not your thing, another option is you can get rid of that one and put this one on and play the whole game in slow motion. And it's really cool.
Nice for those scenic shots.
Yeah, and it's also it's good to practice your racing line.
Get the perfect angles.
Yeah, look at this guy. I can take some risks with this guy, but I'm not gonna.
It's brilliant for making montage.
Yeah.
Gets a man.
I say I'm not gonna die, and I'm definitely just gonna die. Anyway, so they're quite fun. Then we've got ones down here. So these ones kind of change up the player's abilities. So this one, the twirl, it makes it last longer, so you sort of gracefully glide to the ground. This one, let's just equip something.
And so you're equipping multiple here. Hold on. So not just one.
Exactly. Yeah. So you've got 3 slots, and so you can choose any combination of 3 tonics. So that makes my twirl last significantly longer. Or the normal ground pound looks like this. But now I've also equipped charge ground pound, and we've also got this one, which is kind of going to be cool for killing some of these pesky snails, because these guys are nightmares.
Oh yeah,
it's relentless. But that thing just destroys everything on the screen. Yeah, you can only use it once, so you kind of got to pick your battles with that one. So they're ones that change kind of the player's abilities, add new abilities, and there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
This one's kind of cool. It's called Googly Eyes, and this adds googly eyes to every enemy in the game.
That's very big on it.
So again, it makes the game more difficult. Find an enemy, that would be useful. There's one in this level.
You've killed them all.
That's it, yeah. Oh dear.
So we're looking for quills. We need the cash money quill.
We do need the cash. So here we go. So now you can see that every
Oh,
enemy,
there
we've
we
got
go.
pair of googly eyes, so now they take 2 hits to kill, again making the game more difficult. Although you can actually exploit it a little in some cases, like that guy down there, I can now bounce him twice.
So risk reward.
Yeah, a little
Because
bit.
obviously, are these inspired from the enemies from Yooka-Laylee, which obviously would possess like
Yeah, they're
bricks
directly
and
taken
things?
from
Yeah.
that, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, what? Oh.
Yeah, if you really want to make the game impossible to play, you can equip this one, and this one's kind of cool to equip with this one.
So many. I
which
thought we were
is
getting through them, but look how many.
mirrored, yeah, and then this one which flips the screen upside down. So if you apply all of those, I'm going to mute that one, just to see if you can.
Okay,
so all the buttons are
hold on.
swapped. So left is right, right is
no.
left. A and X is swapped.
Am I going the right way?
I don't know. No, you're dead. But it makes it like
It does,
it's
yeah.
so ridiculous.
It's for party games or just mad challenges.
That's it. I mean, kind of going to be
Oh,
interested
I
to see. No, that's mental, right? But going to be interested to see like what YouTubers and streamers do if they can. Oh, you know, let's see if we can complete this level, but with
Yeah.
these 3 tonics equipped. That's it. It's perfect.
Yeah, and already. Like, I mean, I'm not a platforming pro, so that's pushed me over the limit.
No, and I can't play like that either. So, you know, options. That's not helpful. There we go. So what else have we got? So they're ones that kind of mix up gameplay. There's some other ones that help you acquire currency. So this one's kind of cool. It allows Laylee to hear secrets. So you see her ears and they're massive. And when you get near a secret, like a twit coin or this hidden areas, you'll hear a faint sound that gets louder and louder with this one equipped, which is kind of nice. And then we've got other ones like secret sonar, money acquiring one. This one pulls all quills towards you.
Very useful for wanting to get through a level without having to, you know, hit those racing lines.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're kind of ones that change up gameplay. Let's now look at some ones that change up the visuals. So a kind of fun one is this one here, which makes the colour palette of the game look like the Game B. Now, I don't know if any of you remember that the Game B was a pretty famous handheld console back in the 80s in the world of Yooka-Laylee. Not.
I'm getting some nostalgia
Anyway.
flashbacks here.
Yes, this is definitely a Game B though.
Yes,
So-
Game B.
So this is an example of combining. So we can have the Game B colour palette on its own, but we can also pair that with the Game B resolution to sort of make the game look a bit more retro. But then we can also pair that with...
So any of them are mix and matchable. You're not
Yeah.
forced into.
Exactly.
Oh, you even get the. Oh, look at that.
So you can have the full-on Game B experience if that's what you're looking for. Or, you know, if Game B's not your thing, we might have you covered with another console here, the Rextro Entertainment System. So if you change the colours and resolution there, you can see that this one now looks kind of like this, which is pretty sweet. And these work on any level, so as you can imagine, depending on what the level looks like, these also work and surprisingly playable as well, which I was happy
Yeah, I
about.
like that. Yeah.
Because I remember when we first did them, it was like, is this thing going to... Are you going to be able to see anything?
Have we
or is
gone
it just
too
going to be
far?
ridiculous? But
So every tonic works with other tonics. They're not cut from each other. All of the tonics work on all of the 2D gameplay levels.
yeah, there's a handful of tonic combinations that aren't valid. Just for example, there's one that makes the game black and white,
Yeah.
and then there's
And
another
then-
one that makes it black and white in a different way.
Yeah.
And we kind of figured, well, that's
They
just
just
a
kind of
rubbish
drip-
combo.
yeah.
So we don't allow those. But
So as long as they're not identical in kind of
Yeah.
form.
and there's an occasional one where, like for this one, less
Yeah.
checkmates,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can't
you
have
can.
less and more.
Yeah.
So there's a few combinations that aren't valid, but we've tried really hard to make as many to be valid as
Yeah.
possible because we really want the players to experiment and have fun just messing around with them and seeing, you know, what different combos could look like. So where are we? This one is quite,
Ooh, I like
quite
the look of
nice
this one.
combined with this one, and even combined with the sort of more cinematic aspect ratio. So this one looks kind of cool.
Oh wow. It reminds me of Inside.
And I don't think it does. Maybe.
No, that's not Limbo. There you go. I'm getting my.
I've never played the
That's
game,
the
so
one,
I
Limbo.
don't know what you're talking about.
It does not remind me.
No. Or Limbo, it reminds you of Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lairs, Shadows thing.
Yes.
But yeah, so this is kind of a cool one. And yeah, you can even combine like the Rextro Entertainment System colours with this to get some really kind of and resolution to get some sort of really creepy results.
Oh wow.
So you can see like
So like Blair capital B style
that's it.
found footage ukulele.
Trouble. No, fine.
So yeah, whether players or community members or content creators want to mix it up, make it go crazy, then they've got that.
Yeah,
ability to do so.
yeah, that's it. So yeah, we just wanted it to be.
Is that like an Etch a Sketch style one?
This
as
one,
well?
this one makes it look like the makes it look
Too
like
good.
the comic book Sting City. We've been very careful to be equally hilarious and totally legal.
Tons are perfectly legal.
So we'll head into another level just so we can see what different levels look like. But at this point,
what is your favourite 3 tonics in the game?
My favourite 3 tonics. I don't know, to be honest. I do like the retro ones. I think they're pretty cool. And this one's pretty sweet as well. This one actually you can combine with the this one, the shadows thing, to get kind of best of both worlds.
I like how the light effects just stick on Yooka-Laylee is just incredible.
Yeah, that's it. It's not like it follows you to cast these kind of crazy shadows. Favourite 3? I don't know.
Oh, no pressure.
I don't know. Another, well, I mean, one of the favourite ones at work is this one, Human, paired with No Tail, and paired with this Chameleon Colours. And then what you have to do is, so that looks horrific enough, and then you have to lose Laylee as well, and she's got to go away. And then you've got to, so with this Chameleon Colours, you can press B to change the colour palette of the character.
Oh.
And so this is now the one that everyone seems to love at work, and now you just walk slowly. That's a favourite in the office for some reason. It terrifies me, but you know.
It's got tubular bells on here.
But yeah, so but we're kind of really interested to see which ones are players' favourites as well. Let's put the ones which is fun. Perhaps
Gold.
Oh, we've lost Laylee, of course. I'm going to get Laylee back without dying.
So when you've got a bigger head, does that impact your hitbox?
No,
purely
it doesn't.
cosmetic?
It's just for fun. Because, I mean, it can look a bit ridiculous because you do clip through things sometimes, but we didn't want to actually change the way the gameplay works. And the thing is with Tonics is...
Oh.
The last time I did a stream, that's the place I just kept dying. So without Laylee, anyway, here she is. So you've got both of them with massive heads now, which is kind of fun. Made of gold, which is obviously better than normal.
Exactly. And of course, if anyone watching has any questions, please do fire them into chat, and we will do our best to answer them.
Yeah, that's it.
What's the spider? There's one where
it's
got a spider body.
And the icon probably looks a bit more exciting than Tonic. So this one makes you climb ropes faster. So the few that are very specifically useful. So this one's no problem, means that you can run on ice without skidding. This one allows you to move faster underwater, and this one allows you to move faster on ropes. So for some levels they're not useful at all, but for certain levels they're really, really useful.
So for speedrunning, it would be interested to see if we get different categories of speedrunner, whether they're like purists or if they allow certain tonics to be involved.
Well, because if you equip this one, top, with there's 2 versions of Run Faster, which you can actually equip both together to run even faster. But if I equip Run Faster and then Roll Faster together, this makes the game. I don't know why I'm doing this on the screen, but keep going. It's fine. There's no problem.
It's not bad. That's the same place.
Yeah.
That is a tricky trap.
But it's going to be super interesting to see if anyone can whiz through levels.
Yeah.
just like this.
That's great though, so you could really set some challenges, whether for yourself or for viewers and things like that.
Let's have this one. That's kind of cool.
Now, do you need to, or do you get any special ones? Do you get one for completing the impossible lair, or for beating bosses, or anything like that?
Get a secret one for doing something secret.
Special one?
There's a couple of little secret ones, but we don't want to spoil exactly how they're required right now. But we're looking forward to seeing if anyone manages to get them. Particularly one is very secret.
Not, is it on our list, or is it hidden off our list?
Actually, it's on our list.
Whoa. So you may have seen it.
You may have seen it. That's it. Let's choose some time to do. Oh yeah, this one's kind of fun.
This looks proper challenging.
Yeah, let's change the way the game looks as well. Let's put on.
Yes. It's almost kind of cell shady stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so this tonic we've got, actually you can't see it now because I've changed the way the game looks, but if I take this one off briefly, you can see this one I've got. Every time an enemy is killed, they drop these little There they are.
Little flowers.
Little flowers, but they're actually going through the. So yeah, they're dropping flowers, which is kind of a nice way for enemies to die in a shower of flowers.
Exactly.
And if you actually were to die, those flowers would still be there. So it's kind of nice when you die to play through the level and there's these flowers there.
You know someone's going to just try and create the maximum amount of flowers.
And there's quite a lot. I mean, it's not infinite, but there's an awful lot. So it's kind of good fun to just completely cover an area in flowers. Demonstrating it really well. Let's see. So, oh yeah, this one. So let's oh yeah, you can have some really crazy ones as well. So this one, rainbow, which makes the game look kind of crazy. So this one just constantly colours if you fancy that. And you can add this one at the bottom, which inverts the look of the game as well. So if you just want to,
so it's like a negative stuff.
Yeah, if you want to make your eyes melt, you can do that. And one of the pre-order ones, which is quite good fun, is this one here, Disco. And this one,
yes.
It pulses lights in time with the music of the level.
Oh really? So every level has a different.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Which is kind of nice. You compare that with the Yooka skin one, which makes some good.
I like this one a lot. It's probably one of my favourite tonics.
Yeah.
And when I saw this was in the game, I was like, yes.
Yeah, when we were coming up with ideas for them, we had this massive wall with about 500 ideas or something.
How do you narrow down 500 ideas?
And first of all, you work out the ones that you can actually do, and that's a good starting point. And then, we wanted a nice balance of different types of tonics. Ones that make the game easier, harder, one that change the look of it, one that for lols.
She baited you there.
Yeah, they're useless. So yeah, we tried to get a sort of broad range of different ones that would appeal to hopefully different types of people. Oh yeah, this one I've actually got a quick look. I'm not showing this. This one's kind of cool. It's called slow-mo. And you can slow the game down on button press.
I'd see. Now that is.
Look at that. No, not make it.
Oh.
So you can perform some kind of skillful maneuvers with that.
It's practical and stylish.
That's it. Yeah.
So obviously, Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair, already we know it's got a wide variety of locales and environments. Were there any inspirations for what kind of environments you wanted to do?
The main thing that we wanted from environments was variety. We wanted players to sort of experience this kingdom and not feel like they're playing a bunch of levels that all kind of feel similar. So we tried to have a real range of different locations. That was really the main aim, to just have a decent amount of variety in different places to see.
And obviously, so the first few levels, it looks like you start with seeing kind of like the town kind of setting.
Yeah, that's right.
Do we return to any familiar locations from the first game?
No, the entire game is set in the Royal Stingdom, which is the kingdom of the bees, because the story of the game is that Queen Phoebe's had her entire kingdom overrun by capital B, and so that's where the game takes place, in the Royal Stingdom. So all of these places are within that kingdom.
Oh, fantastic. Will we see any more familiar faces like that?
Yes, so there's a bunch of characters that return. There's some new characters as well, which are hilarious, ridiculous. I don't know the best way to describe them, but yes, you'll also see clowns and those kind of.
Look at that! Now that is cool. I would spend too long just on the tonic screen. I'd spend so much time on the tonic screen.
Yeah, that's what we're kind of hoping people will do. We're hoping people, as they find them, it's like, that one. I wonder if I combine that with this one. And the whole reason for the system being allowing players to combine things is just find the thing that works for you. Like maybe this combo looks good, maybe that's rubbish. Maybe you like it, maybe you need this gameplay benefit, maybe you just can't do without seeing the massive heads.
It's just all head now. This is a roll. So we have a question. What is the FPS for Yooka-Laylee on Nintendo Switch? 60 frames a second. 60 on every platform.
Yeah.
Is that docked and handheld?
Yep.
There you go. 60 FPS on Nintendo Switch, docked and handheld.
Yeah, we
pure Yooka-Laylee platform. My goodness!
Put a ton of effort in, because as far as we were concerned, it's absolutely critical that the game ran at 60 frames per second because of being a 2D platform game.
Silky smooth.
So yeah.
Oh, look at this. It's a papercraft style.
This is actually Yooka-64.
Oh.
Really, I don't say ropey, but ropey character model that's reminiscent of
the the classics.
Yeah, we were pushing Steve and we were like, Steve, how rubbish should it really look? Like, what did they really... You know, come on, Steve. Make it as bad as you can.
Less pixels.
And that's it.
Is there any extra content that's not been revealed yet? Obviously, we can't say what it is. But what kind of surprises have the Yooka-Laylee community?
I mean...
So I've seen a lot of the end game and things like that, so I'm going to be...
Yeah, I mean, there are... I can't really talk about them without talking about them.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of tricky.
They are there.
But they are there, absolutely. And there's some really hidden surprises, but you know, I don't want to ruin too much. I've already shown you a ton of tonics, so I don't want to be too surprise heavy.
But yes, there is a lot more where this has come from, but obviously we know how much you love to discover things, and we don't want to spoil those surprises. How many types of collectibles? We've got a collectathon fan here. How many types of collectibles are in the game? Okay, yeah, that's cool. So, tonics are one of the key collectibles. So if you bring up, in fact, no, let's just go to the overworld. No, so let's go to the overworld and we can look at the screen that people who love collecting things will want to look at. So you on the map screen here and hover over you, so he can see there's the bees are collectibles. So you get a bee by completing every single level. So there's 20 levels. Each level has 2 states, 2 different versions. So that's 40 bees in total. There's 8 secret bees that are hidden somewhere. So bees are one of the collectibles. The other collectible is twit coins. So there's 5 of those per level state. So 200 in total. And then there's 62 tonics or 66 tonics if you get the pre-order pack. But if you get the pre-order pack, they're just there and available. You don't have to find them. So the only tonics you have to find as a result of playing the game and exploring the 62. Yeah. And they're the collectibles. We kind of tried to streamline it so that they all did something interesting. And particularly with the tonics, it's like we could have had just a currency or an item that you collected and it was just a number to tick up, but we thought, well, the tonics are better than that because you collect a bunch of them. You've got hold of it.
And they do stuff. Yeah. And if you don't like what they do, then don't use them and just look at the number go up. But if you do like what they do, then that's cool as well, hopefully.
So practical, and they scratch the itch for completionists.
Yeah, that's it.
And of course, there's quills, which are a currency in this one. So obviously in Yooka-Laylee, there was a fixed amount. Yes. Whereas in this one, because you use them, then obviously we needed to make sure you weren't like, you couldn't buy something because there's one quill somewhere on a level that you can't remember.
Yeah, we didn't do that. That would have been cruel.
And is there like a mega hard or a challenge option for any levels? Or how is difficulty handled in the Impossible Lair?
We tried to balance the levels to be of a certain difficulty that wasn't too hard or too easy. And then we kind of hoped that players would use tonics in order to modify that. So like I said, if you're struggling, you could put on this more checkmates, you could put on this thick skin, you could put on catchy. And you're getting half the quills, but you've made the level significantly easier to complete than had you not had these equipped.
And through that, it also means that obviously you can choose to make harder levels that will still allow players that might just want to experience Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair who like me aren't great platform gamers. We can still play through it. We're not overly punished for it. We're still going to get our quills. We're still going to complete the level and progress. Or for those who do like a challenge, they can do it that way. So I think it's a really interesting dynamic approach to difficulty where you've gone to the player. There's no right or wrong way to go about it. And
because we didn't want to have a difficulty select at the beginning of the game where you're kind of faced with 3 options.
Oh my god!
Am I a skillful gamer or a reasonably skillful gamer? You're like, I never know what to pick from those. Then I always pick the one that's too difficult and then get frustrated because the game's too hard.
I'm starting now.
But yeah, so we thought this would be a cool way to modify difficulty. And also, of course, if you want a real challenge, then there's the Impossible Lair. Now, the thing to note about the Impossible Lair is that tonics don't work in the Impossible Lair. So, if you were hoping for an easy ride through the Impossible Lair,
extra help,
unfortunately, that is not going to be the case. You have to earn that one, but all the others, you're right. I put the flowers on, and then I always put the game in the sort of black and white mode.
There we go. Oh, multiple flowers, not just one.
Yeah, because it like tricks out all these seeds and then plant flowers, and it's all a bit, just.
Nice peggy free.
Yeah, that's it. No one's gonna be upset by it.
Maybe they want to be jumped on so they can spread the flowers.
I think that is the case,
I think that is.
Yeah.
Why else would they do that?
There's no reason that I can think of.
You make
I've
it.
also got a claw on, as you can see.
I remember that when I'm playing it compared to you make it look so easy, and in fact, it's not as simple as it looks.
I think that's always the case though. When you're watching someone play a 2D platformer,
Yeah.
you watch them and you're like,
Easy, yeah, I can do that.
I can do that, no problem. And then you try it and you're like, oh wait, no I can't. But yeah, the number of like Mario Maker videos I've watched, and you like watch them playing and they're like,
Oh yeah, impossible.
doesn't look too bad.
Yeah. So we've got another question. Do the collectibles unlock any additional content? So obviously we know that the tonics do, but do, for example, the bees?
No, so the bees are purely used in the Impossible Lair to make it more possible. So with every bee that you collect, you can take one additional hit in the Impossible Lair. So if you go in at the beginning of the game, you can take you're just Yooka-Laylee, and if you take a hit and then another hit, you're gone. Whereas if you go in at the end of the game, you've got all 48 bees. You can take 48 hits before you lose Laylee and then lose
and that
Yooka.
kind of shows just how challenging and the scale of the Impossible Lair.
Yeah,
you're willing to give people the potential to take that many hits.
Well, that, and even with that many, it's still challenging. Although I will point out that it is possible. There's definitely one person that I've met that can do it. So it is possible, but it's really
just one person as well. And I imagine if they are part of the dev team, these are the people that live and breathe.
Yeah, well, for example, one of the things that I did on this as a designer was I was responsible for the gameplay mechanics, so the handling of Yooka and Laylee, and I can't do it. Like, you think I should be able to, but I totally can't. So yeah, it's really challenging. So yeah, this is the bees for the Impossible Lair, and then the Twit coins are for throughout the levels. There's these paywalls, trouser paywalls. In fact, we'll go and have a look at the overworld briefly. Just to...
I see what you did there with the paywall.
Yes, indeed. So if we look on the map, you can see we've unlocked this bit of the area, and here there is a paywall. So Trouser wants 15 Twit coins. We've only got 10 at the moment, but he wants 15 Twit coins, and then he'll allow you to go to that new part of the game. So Twit coins unlock areas of the map, and again, there would be a reason to. With these ones, there actually is a reason to collect all 200 of them. I won't say what that reason is, but it is worth doing. I think it's worth doing anyway.
Absolutely.
That'd be
Trouser approved.
Yes, indeed. And then there's the tonics. So there's some secrets, but I don't want to spoil them.
It's the same one. Someone asked are there any Easter eggs in the game? And obviously, if we tell you what the Easter eggs are, then they're no longer Easter eggs. Yes. They're just eggs.
Yes, there are.
They're just eggs.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So
yes.
Something for the keen-eyed player to find. Could you show the control menu?
Yes. Let's have a look. Options. Controls.
So there you go. This is obviously we're using a controller at the moment.
Yes.
So this is for one of your controller options there. There you go. I think that you can come back. We're gonna pop this on YouTube so we'll be able to come back and
check that out.
Check it out. So where are we off to now?
I'm just hopping into another level. This is Frantic Fountains. This is one of the levels that the second state is a frozen version of the level.
Oh, so it dynamically changes how you approach it.
Yes, that's right. So this has got tons of fountains that, as you can see, these water fountains, and in the second version of the level they're all frozen, the ground's covered in ice.
That's cool.
There's different pathways through the level, so the different versions of each level, which we've talked about a bit in the past, but the different versions of each level are significantly changed the gameplay experience, so that we really wanted to make sure that players felt like they could recognise the original level, so they felt like they were in the same place, but they never felt like they were playing the same level. It always needed to feel like a unique experience, but I thought this was a really nice level to hop in.
So something that just popped into my head, obviously, do you have a limited amount of lives? Is there a game over state?
No, so the way it works is when you take damage, Laylee is lost. And if you can catch it, you can carry on, and if you can't catch it, you have to continue to look at. So let me I'll just move Laylee real quick. Accidentally killing you.
Surprise!
So there we go. So we've lost Laylee now, and if I catch her, then she's just floating around in the water. But if I catch her now, it's fine. I can carry on with Laylee. But as you can see, I've now lost her, and if I was to take another hit, let's just take this next few rounds. So we can just let's put a big head on it. So yeah, as you can see now, I'm just Yooka on my own, and if I take another hit now, I'll die and get sent back to the previous checkpoint. If I collect one of these things, which is called a Laylee Bell, then she'll come back.
Yay!
And now we're back to being the team. Now, losing Laylee is kind of interesting for two reasons. So one reason is that if you die, obviously, if you take another hit, you'll die. Yeah. But the other reason is that Laylee's responsible for a bunch of moves.
So it actually limits your moveset.
Exactly, yeah. So there's three things that she does. One of them is the boosted roll. So the normal roll, which is the normal roll is like this. It's kind of, not too fast, a bit faster than you can run. But if you do the boosted roll, which is a roll then roll again, so tap then tap, you can see that Yooka's now sprinting and moving much more quickly. That can only be done with Laylee. Another thing that can only be done with Laylee is twirl.
And then great for aerial control.
Exactly, yeah. Yes, indeed. And then finally, the ground pound is also a Laylee ability. So if you lose her, you lose all those abilities. So you tend to find the game becomes a lot more tense when you lose Laylee.
Makes me wonder if we'll see once again with like speedrunner types like Yooka only runs, things like that.
Yeah.
It's that extra level of challenge.
And there's no like live, so if you were to die and go back to the checkpoint, you can just keep doing it over and over and over again if you want to. And in fact, if you die a certain number of times at the same checkpoint, that checkpoint will turn gold and then offer you the opportunity to skip ahead to the next checkpoint. So if you're really, really struggling and you've got to a bit of a level that you just can't get through, this little guy here, he'll turn gold and it looks like you're having some trouble. Do you want to skip? And you don't have to. You can like, no, I can do it. Or if you want to, you can skip ahead. And all that will mean is that anything that was in that bit of level, you won't pick up.
Yeah, so you miss out on it.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's a great accessibility feature, whether, let's say once again, you're not great at platformers, or if you've got like a youngster who enjoys platformers.
That's
like
exactly
this.
it.
And that way it allays the frustration, you can still experience the full game. And as you said, it goes, would you like to? It doesn't, it's not trying to embarrass you or be like, oh, it's like, hey, here's an option for you.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're someone who's great at platformers or you're going through it, you'll never see anything.
Yeah, that's it. I know that.
You've never seen it. There's rumour that there's a feature like this, but we've not seen it.
Yes, I've never seen it. I don't know if it's got any bugs or whatever, but I've never seen it, so hopefully it doesn't.
Will we find out what happens in capital B between Yooka-Laylee and the possible Lair? Is there any sort of...
So the place that we are in, actually, where this whole game takes place, is where he was locked away.
Oh!
So that's the deal. So he was locked away in the Grand Tome, and we discovered that this is the Grand Tome that he was locked away in. And as a result of being locked in here, he's been like, you know what, I'm not happy about this. And so he's taken over the kingdom. Which I suppose is fair enough. Like if I was locked away in the kingdom, I might try and do that.
We have like my kingdom now.
Yeah, exactly. So that's actually where he is, and that's why we're here.
Fantastic. And then we got. So obviously you get a bee at the end of each level.
Yes, that's right.
And am I right saying how many bees are named after community members and competition winners?
Oh, I can't remember now. There's a screen where you can see all the bees and you've got their names and little descriptions about them. So I know that this.
And each bee is its own little design.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
It must be buzzing if you're one of those bees.
Indeed, yeah, indeed. Yeah, so there's competition winners in here and community people and dev team but yeah, you can check the screen out if you want to see there's a bit of information written about them for you to read if you're interested. So yeah.
It's fantastic. What else have we looked at? Are there any on there that are truly bizarre or truly
bizarre? I mean, I don't think there's anything more bizarre than these two combined, to be honest. Yeah. They're fairly terrifying. And then we've looked at a bunch of these ones, not talked about them, but painted and stuff. There's one that I'm deliberately not looking at.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch down here that just sort of adjust the colour palette of the game, which I mean, like
for the Instagram fans out there.
Yeah, like sepia film and black and white and noir film and vintage and gritty and saturated and art house and blockbuster film, things like that, and these aspect ratio ones. So I think we've roughly.
We've given a nice overview.
Zoom through them all. I don't know, linger on any too long because I want the players to sort of get the chance to...
Yeah, we don't want to spoil anything.
Exactly, that's right. Let's, what we'll do is we'll really...
Delicious fruits.
Let's really briefly freeze this level and have a look in there as well.
And that's how you activated the alternate state?
Yeah, that's it. So every alternate state has a method of turning it on or off, and you can see the UI at the bottom of the screen changes to reflect the fact that we're going into...
two Bs, obviously, one for each.
Yeah, that's right. And so we'll hop into this one. So yeah, every single level has something outside the level entrance that allows you to toggle between the two. Once you've solved the puzzle, that actually unlocks it, because they're not just there for you to just go into. You actually have to solve the puzzle. Yeah, that's right. So you can see it's all frozen now, and all the controls are all slidey and skiddy.
But luckily there's a tonic for that. If you did choose
There
to use
is,
it.
yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we should. So that one's there. We can chuck that one on.
See, do we actually get the little snowshoes?
I don't know. Sorry. No, you don't.
Flashlight though is.
Yeah.
Thank you, escape prison.
That's it, yeah. It's kind of cool because if you think of like platformers of the past, there'd be a level that was just this. Like the mechanic was being called by a flashlight, and it's kind of cool that we can have that on any level. It was slightly tricky to balance some of the tonics on every single level because they had to work on every level, and if you had a level that was already dark, then adding things like flashlight or particularly that Sting City one made it, you had to really sort of work to try and make them playable on some of the darker levels.
That must have been quite the joy to balance.
Yes, it was very fun. Definitely one of my favourite things.
Imagine a picture of every level up on a big board and you're like, well...
Yeah, that's it. And all the bugs that came back of, oh, this one doesn't work on this level and I can't see anything. And it's like...
It's a feature now.
yeah, you're not supposed to see anything. That's the new tonic. The tonic is a black screen.
Ultra hard though.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a lot of quills.
That's it, yeah. Those ghosts
It'll be a quillionaire in no time.
Indeed, you will. So as you can see here, with this second version of the level, the exit that we went through to finish the level previously has been frozen over.
So how do we find an exit?
So to finish this level, we actually have to go through this door up here, and there's a second path to another exit. And to do this, I should probably again get rid of the spotlight.
So are the alternate versions, so the second version you unlock, always harder than the
Typically, they're not always harder, but they're typically harder, yeah, because you have to find them and that kind of thing. But that's the ghost core, wasn't it? Because I do. But yeah, so you can see this whole slide section in this level. Yeah, they're typically a little bit harder, but
there's a bit of style there. And already, so how the levels present challenge is different. So obviously on the factory level, there's a lot of moving mechanisms, mechanics, places to fall. Whereas on this level, it's all about ducking, crouching, jumping, sliding, that perpetual motion. So each environment has its own challenge. It's not just the same challenges in different looking areas.
Yeah, that's
each
right.
Each biome, the challenge is created around what you would expect.
Yeah, exactly. So you should see a wide variety of different gameplay mechanics to experience as you pass through the levels.
No, I like that. I love kind of like sliding mechanics and things like that, and seeing how you use your motion to overcome the traps.
Yeah. Should we crash into another level?
Yes.
Here's another one of these dudes that's got a little hint. Let's see if he's got anything useful.
50.
50, I know.
That'd be a good hit.
Let's see. There's a woody canyon not far from here. A character there holds the location in their mind. That's a bit more cryptic. You'll have to use their head.
Okay.
To the secret. Okay.
So who has a head that can we roll it? Can we take their head without harming their personal health?
You know what? I think we're just going to ignore that one. It looks too difficult for us to solve right now, I think. So we'll just instead go into this level.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. What's this guy? This guy's maybe got something useful to tell us. This one's easier. That other one's too. I don't have the energy for it.
It's too much.
North of here is a curved path surrounded by plants. Buddy Slam, the corner of the path for a secret. That one's a little bit more.
So we're using flowers. Do we have to like activate these flowers, or are they there?
Yes, you have to grow them. So sometimes they're there, sometimes you have to grow them. These ones we have to grow. So right ratio.
Great success.
Indeed.
More tonics.
That's it. More tonics that we've already got. We've totally cheated, but let's forget that.
And off we go into Gasping Glade.
Gasping Glade. This is a really interesting state change as well with this one because you flood the level.
Yeah.
And initially the level is. Let's just turn some of these so you can actually see what the level looks like. And we don't need snowshoes because there's no snow in this level.
This is true.
So this level is all the plants are dying, there's not very much life. And when you flood it with water, all the plants grow back and these massive trees grow within the level. And there's actually this huge zip wire section at the top of all the trees. So you can take a completely different route through the level, which is kind of fun.
So even though you're replaying that level, your path is different. You're not just playing through a cosmetically adjusted.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the experience is very, very different.
And then you can add shaders and then make
and then you can make it look like this.
I like how the spiders glow as well.
Yeah.
It's a giant head. Silhouette.
Just works.
As I said, there's a lot of enemy variety as well.
Yeah, and each enemy sort of offers a distinct challenge as well. Like these frogs, for example, they bounce you back if you walk into them, which is something you've got to be really careful of in the Impossible Lair, because they're put in positions where if you bounce off them, they'll just chuck you back into something that hurts you. So you've got to be really aware of that fact. Control their heads to kill them. And then, yeah, there's the spiders, there's crabs. We've got all sorts of...
Someone has asked if we could combine saturated filter and outline.
So this outline and then saturated, yeah, of course we can. This one here like that to look more comic-y. Yeah.
Oh,
and actually,
wow, what a good suggestion.
If we want to add another one to that, we've got another one here called Cartoony. That's saturated Saturday morning TV look for Yooka-Laylee, and this one makes them cell shaded. Although you can't, it's harder to tell with this one because it kind of just settled. But yes. Again, it looks certainly more cartoony.
It looks brilliant. Yeah, no, all of these different options. Like I keep going, oh, I love this. I love this.
Yeah.
I also love this one. How am I meant to settle? Like, am I going to be every 2 minutes going in and changing it? Because I'm like, I want this one again.
Yeah. Well, hopefully.
And obviously, as you see, there's different degrees of using the combinations that you can push a certain effect, like the cartoony effect.
Yeah, totally.
And the shaded effect, and obviously you've got your different kind of noir variants, the different filters. You definitely are a fan of big head mode.
I know, I can't resist. I remember when we did it, and we were deciding how big should Big Head be, and I think this is about 4 times his size, and it's like, yeah, that's perfectly ridiculous.
That'll do it.
That's just the right level of ludicrous. For those of you who don't know, these guys are called ghost quills, and they're dotted throughout the levels, and they encourage you to take risks.
Oh yeah, that's what you were going for.
You can see there's death down here, so I don't want to jump into that. So they encourage you to take risks for massive quill payouts. So if you're going for tonics, it's really worth keeping an eye out for these ghost quills because they give you a ton more quills. In fact, if you were to play a level normally, you'd probably get around about 100 quills.
Okay.
Whereas if you complete the level and successfully hit every ghost quill, you could end up with 400 quills. So they make a big difference.
Especially if you're using tonics to make it more difficult.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, then you get a crazy number. But yeah, so they make it more difficult, but it's worth the risk, for sure. Yeah, particularly if you want to buy the tonics.
I mean, as someone who will definitely want every tonic
Yeah.
and won't have access to cheats on the full release build.
No, that's right. Combos that we might look at. I think some fun combos that we could
So many.
Yeah, that's it. There's just too many lines to play nice. It's just like this one looks really great. There's a factory level where there's tons of Tesla coils and things like that, and all sorts of lightning kicking off, and it looks really cool with this one because it just really fits that kind of Frankenstein movie aesthetic.
I see what you mean, especially now you're inside and the way the shadows and the shading work.
Yeah.
Definitely getting that feel.
Yeah. Kind of really old. Yes, I love this one as well. See, so that one there, for example, this one, gritty comic, it's not letting us put that on because we've got noir film on, because it basically makes the game black and white, and like, do you need to make the game look black and white twice? No. This is really
Definitely makes it more challenging. Obviously, you have to keep an eye out for the flashes of white.
Yeah. In fact, if we want to make this one even more difficult, we could put Spotlight on at the same time. Because now
it really makes it darker outside of that. Yeah, I get what you mean about the kind of level mechanics you said about how you can make the whole game challenging.
Yeah, yeah. This is a pretty tricky one, to be honest. You just can't really see anything. You just kind of got to take a little step. Oh, there's the level. Good, keep going.
Spooky mode.
Oh, it's turned off. Don't know what happened there. Let's ignore that and move on. You can even put disco on at the same time as this one. With
oh wow!
It's supposed to be colourful disco, and yet you can play it in black and white.
It's good that the option's there.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the thing with the tonics. We really want it to be that players could just do what they wanted. We didn't want to say that, oh, well, this isn't a fun combination. Why would they want it black and white and disco? Players want to do that. Players want to do that. We're not gonna. We didn't want to stop you. We wanted you to just mess around and find a combination that was fun for you. In fact, here's another one. This one looks quite nicely like that.
Oh wow!
Again, it's
That is very iconic to the platforms. So you really can go absolutely wild with what you want to do.
yeah, that's it. Create your own challenge. And as you can see with these, there's no cool multiplier on these because these are all visual tonics.
Yeah.
And none of the visual tonics have cool multipliers. Although they do make the game slightly harder to play. One of the things we didn't want to do is we didn't want people feeling, oh, I kind of got to play the game in black and white because otherwise if I don't, I won't get the cool multiplier.
Yeah.
So for all the visual ones, although they do make the game slightly harder to play, we didn't have a positive multiplier on this. We only added the positive multipliers to things like less checkmates.
They're very clear.
Yeah. Because, I mean, as much as tonics are fun, I don't want people to feel like they're obliged to have them on because they want to get
That's a
more coils.
very good point.
So some people might be thinking, hang on, that makes it way more difficult.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does, but we kind of had to sort of tread that line.
And then there's nothing stopping you once you've done a level, go back in with and put on the harder tonics.
Yeah.
And then you can have a go maybe farm with quills and
Exactly,
things like
yeah.
that. And obviously, as we've not really made it clear, but yeah, you've got full flexibility when you flip them on and off. There's
Yes.
no cost once you've unlocked them to use them.
That's right, yeah. Once you've got them, you can use them as many times as you want, and it's like totally down to you. This is kind of an interesting comment. One of the things that you may be thinking is, hang on a minute, how come tick ... tock, which slows the game down, and tick tock, which speeds the game up, how come they're both valid together? What happens? So that's maybe what we can look at.
That.
And if you play the game, you'll be like, oh, okay, it's just playing in slow motion. That's dull. But they didn't do anything. But if we just wait a little bit,
Don't tell me it randomly changes.
field some other questions or talk about some other things, you'll see over time what happens.
What are the name of the spiders? Do they have a name?
Yes.
They do, and you'll find out as you play through the impossible
That's it.
Lair.
They're called the spiders. I don't know what they're called. Check the wiki when it's been written by someone who's more diligent than I am. This is the worst place in the game to show this off because we've just finished the level.
Yeah.
But basically what is happening is the game starts in slow motion, and as you can see, we're gradually
yeah, I
speeding
saw
up.
that.
In fact, you know what, let's actually just go to another level and quickly see
it in
an
action.
actual level.
And then once you've seen that in action, I think that would be a good place to wrap up
that
our
sounds good to me.
totally tantalising tonic stream.
Indeed.
So if you've got any questions, you've got a couple of minutes to throw them in chat.
So I'll whiz through this level and we can hopefully see that the game will start off in slow motion and will gradually blend to the fast. And if you swap them the other round, so if you had the fast one first and the slow one second, it would do it the opposite way around.
So the order
as
you
well.
put them in.
That's it, it makes a difference. With some of them, not all of them, but some of them.
Here we go.
You're like super skilled now. These guys. I really like the slow-mo. In fact, there's one time when I was thinking about recording some footage in slow-mo and then speeding it back up to the normal speed because it makes you look like a total pro. Because you're like, oh yeah, look,
Pixel
just,
perfect.
yeah, absolutely, you just nail every single platform.
Ultimate platforming on fire.
Yeah.
Giving people ideas now.
Gradually speeding up.
And then once you get through that, does it then flick to the slowest version again, or does it start to slowly
It
slow
starts
down?
to slow down again, yeah. So depending on how you quick, if you're really quick at the level, you can actually finish the level before you realise it's sped up or slowed down. But so this is getting to normal speed, and what's cool is the sound of all the audio.
Oh, the audio
pitch
changes
shifts.
as
Yeah, so
well.
we can't hear it here, but I promise you,
It's true. It's true.
It shifts in all the sounds. And one of the things that's kind of funny is that the guy who does the voices of Yooka-Laylee, when you pitch shift the voice just right, it just sounds like him.
No,
because,
so you can do that with this.
yeah, with these tonics you can do that because when we record him to make him sound like cartoon characters, we pitch shift him. And so when you're playing through the game, there's a point at which these two cross over, and it just sounds like a normal dude just making weird noises.
Something to look out for.
That's it, yeah. But yeah, you can see it's better now.
Now look at you go.
I know.
No quill will escape your
I
grasp.
can't resist smashing every box as well. She's done for, forget her.
Using your head there to save the
That's
beat.
it.
I'll save you, please.
The only way I know how.
And I think that's a great place to wrap up the stream. So
Cool.
thank you everyone for coming by and watching. This was the first, I think, formal kind of in-depth look at the Tonics available
Yes,
in
it was, yeah.
Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. Is there anything you would like to share with our audience before we wrap up? Put you on the
Yeah,
spot.
just put me on the spot. That's something I have no idea what to say. We hope you like the game.
Yeah.
We really do. We
Yeah.
really hope you love the game. We've put a lot of heart into it, so we hope people enjoy it. That's what I like.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, show some love to Yooka-Laylee and Impossible Lair. Of course, it's coming to PC, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. So if you would like 4 of exclusive Tonics, be sure to drop a pre-order ahead of launch. You can also wishlist the game on Steam to keep up to date with all things Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. And also follow @Playtonic Games on Facebook and Twitter via @Playtonic Games to keep up to speed with all things Yooka-Laylee, courtesy of Daily. So yes, do check it out. Not long to wait until you'll be getting your platforming on, mixing your tonics and creating chaos for capital B once again. I've been Jono, he's been Harry. You have been awesome. Have a fantastic afternoon and keep it all things Yooka-Laylee. See you later.